Have you ever worked on a project that you knew would take a lot of time and a lot of effort? Perhaps you believe in yourself, and as you get closer to the end of the project, you feel this sense of pride in achievement. And what do you do when it's over? Celebrate. 2 years ago, my dearest Carrie-Ann posted a message in Facebook announcing a call for papers for the upcoming book, Ted Lasso in Philosophy. I didn't even see her announcement until the day of the deadline. And I asked her, sweetie, you already wrote Hamilton in philosophy and Steve Jobs in philosophy, so why don't you do this one? She said, I'm too busy and I have to start saying no to projects. So I said, since I already had something published on Ted Lasso, maybe I'll take a crack at it. Okay, she said, but the deadline is today, so you have to submit your CV and an abstract. But show it to me first before you send it in. And I thought, okay, this will be a piece of cake. Put something together and handed it off to her. 15 minutes, the all too familiar philosophy professor red pen was all over my notes. She said, this is not an abstract, it's a summary. And you can't just put hyperlinks to all the essays you've had published. That's not a CV. Go! So I went to my office, set the timer for 90 minutes, and focused on my main message. Anyone who knows the TV show Ted Lasso is aware of his incredible benevolence, his optimism, and his kindness. But do they also think he's an egoist? Probably not. In season 2, Lasso named my favorite book, The Fountainhead, as his favorite book. Maybe I could draw some parallels between Ted Lasso and the innovative architect hero Howard Rourke from The Fountainhead. In one scene in The Fountainhead, a character says to him, "You are the most egotistical and the kindest person I know." And that doesn't make sense. And Rourke replies, maybe the concepts don't make sense. Maybe they don't mean what people have been taught to think they mean. Exactly, that is the precise point I've been dealing with for my whole life. This misconception of egoism, that it only means acting in one's own self-interest, usually at the price of others. I also wanted to show how Ted Lasso's incredible work ethic and his joy in life, as well as his belief in himself, all came from his self-sufficient ego. But I had to debunk this myth that anyone who's an egoist must step on others in order to get what they want. There are some characters in the Ted Lasso program who are like that, but they're narcissists. Well, when I finished the updated abstract and CV, I handed it off to Carrie-Ann and said, I'm going to a class at Orlando Power Yoga. I need to clear my head. In a room packed with about 30 people, 105 degrees temperatures, we're standing in poses, trying not to fall into a puddle of our own sweat. My mind started to go into all these different areas, making connections between Ted Lasso and the Fountainhead. I came out of class completely rejuvenated, and I see a message on my phone from Carrie-Ann. I love her. She has all these updates that are already making the abstract better. And then at the bottom she says, maybe we can work on this together? Of course! Now it'll be 1,000,000 times better with her added brain power, and she can elaborate on the Aristotle's idea of how important egoism is to living a good life, a life of eudaimonia. We sent in the abstract, and a couple of days later we get a response from the editors. And they say, we've turned down many submissions, but yours intrigued us. And although we don't believe Ted is an egoist, we do think you're good writers, and we want to give you a chance. And over the next several months, we had so much fun watching all the episodes, taking notes, comparing notes, writing and editing, sending it to the editors in Texas. And after this long process, we are proud to say that the finished version of Ted Lasso and Philosophy, we were in Chapter 4, Is Ted an Egoist? It is done. And I promised Carrie-Ann, when this book comes out, we're going to Barnes & Noble's to celebrate. So, if you like Ted Lasso and you believe in yourself, and you also are curious about the relationship between kindness, having pride in your achievements, and having a self-sufficient ego, pick up Ted Lasso and Philosophy.